Yeah, the other thing that's coming out shortly is Craven the Hunter, which I know we're all excited about.
It's been 2 years. Had to wait so long.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Craven the Hunter. It's currently sitting at 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Everyone was hoping this would be a banger movie. What's happened?
Yeah, it's so bad apparently that it's basically signaled the end of Sony's like Spider-Verse spin-off series that they've tried to do.
Madam Web.
No, there's not going to be a Madam Web 2.
We may never see a Madam Web 2 now. It's fully
sadly we won't. No, they've given a rundown actually here on Forbes of like the scores, the IMDb scores for each of the various movies in this little self-contained universe. So Venom from 2018 was sitting at 30% positive rating. Oh, sorry, this is Rotten Tomatoes scores. Venom 2, 58%. Ooh, the dizzying heights. Morbius, 15%. Madam Web, 11. The last Venom 3, The Last Dance, 41%, and then Craven the Hunter. In the article here, they've got it listed as 14%, but it's climbed all the way up to 16%. So it's doing better. But essentially, yeah, each of these movies have been terrible and have had horrific scores as a result. And
it's like the modern equivalent of canon films, just B-grade schlock garbage that gets put out there as long as it can sort of make some money. But just the low quality of it is, maybe we should be glad that it's there, just on balance, because it's so terrible.
I mean, they cost quite a lot, though. You know, if these were movies that were being made for, I mean, I say 40 to 50 million as if that's not a lot of money, but, you know, making a movie like that for that amount of money, you know, it could distinguish itself from the like MCU, DCEU stuff. But like Venom, I don't know how much that cost, but it was quite a lot, would be my guess.
Well,
100 million?
No, yeah. So here's the interesting thing, right? Venom it cost 100 million to make, but then it made 856 million worldwide, which is that's pretty impressive. Good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Hence the reason that they made more of these things. I'm just going to see what Venom 2, because I imagine that cost more. So Carnage. Okay, so that costs. Oh, I don't have its budget here, but it only made 506 million worldwide. So quite the drop. And then if we look at what Venom 3 made, I'm guessing it's even worse. Yeah, so Venom 3, The Last Dance, 472 million worldwide. So it's a downward trend.
I just checked the budgets for Morbius and Madam Web were 75 and 80 million, which is maybe a little bit more reasonable. But then again, compared with the amount of money that the Venom movies pulled, did they even make their money back once you include advertising? I don't think they did.
Morbius could not possibly have made it back. Let's see what have that made. Morbius box office. So, God, was a worldwide total of 167 million.
Oh God.
So it costs. So it cost 83 million to make. So if you take like the 3 times multiplier as your standard, it probably lost, by 20, 30 million. I mean, it could have been worse, I suppose. Let's see what Madam Web made. So Madam Web, that made a grand total of 100 million worldwide.
On a budget of 75.
Yeah, that's not great.
So the marketing double that, it's got to be a loss.
I mean, this is the thing, though. I can understand why they made Venom, but way back in 2018, and cost 100 million, made 850 million worldwide, and they probably thought, great, okay. Who cares if like it's getting bad reviews? It doesn't matter. It's making us a shit ton of money here. Let's just make more of these things. And you know, from what I understand about Sony, they are absolute penny pinchers when it comes to budgets. That's why they're all around the 100 million range, if not lower, right? But like, when you've got a movie like Venom, it's making bank for them. So, okay, they're going to make more. But, yeah, the quality control just isn't there. And you get that initial rush of enthusiasm, and then it just dies off. And that's what you see with all of these movies. And they ended up losing the studio a lot of money.
I feel like Venom, as a layman for comic books, I feel like Venom was always going to make money because it's the one that everyone knows. It is the Spider-Man villain, other than, I guess, like Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin. But even then, Venom, I thought, was always the most popular Spider-Man villain. So it kind of seems as though they shot their load early, and then they were like, damn it, what else have we got? Morbius, Madam Web, and Craven. I hadn't even heard of Craven the Hunter. Like, who the hell is he?
Yeah.
It's a shame this Venom isn't going to go up against Spider-Man unless sometime in the future they change their minds, but I really hardly doubt it. And it's such a shame as well. I would love to have seen him go up against maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man or maybe even fucking Tom Holland's Spider-Man, like it was almost hyping us up for a second there.
So, yeah, I mean, they're in this interesting position where Sony still retain the rights to Spider-Man, and Marvel, if they've got any common sense, they'll never give those rights back to Marvel. Like, they'll always license it out. So Marvel can make movies with Spider-Man in it, but like Sony have to get a good cut of the profits, and that's how they've done it. And that's why we got the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So it's worked well for Sony because they essentially just say, like, you've got our permission to make this film with our character that we own the rights to, and we're going to get a big chunk of your profits, and we don't have to invest any of our own money into it. The only problem is they seem to lack the ability to make Spider-Man movies of their own, at least successful ones. And that's really that's got to be the centerpiece of any like little universe that they're trying to make. It's got to have Spider-Man in it, and it's got to be unique to them. And they've not managed to make a success of it.
Craven the Hunter may be headed for an opening weekend gross between 13 and 15 million on a budget of 110 million. So that's Crow levels like badness. If you guys had to choose between going into a cinema, you've got your options are The Crow or Craven the Hunter. Which would you choose?
Craven the Hunter.
I'd probably choose Craven, yeah.
There's more chance of it being very funny.
I think there's at least a bit of fun to be had with Craven. Like, The Crow is fucking misery from start to finish. And so, yeah, there's not much fun to be had there.
Yeah, and The Crow had, what, a 5-minute action sequence towards the end? So I guess in Craven the Hunter, you'll at least get a bit of that.
I think as well, though, like, you know, we're in this position now with superhero movies where the idea that you can just trot out, like, these relatively obscure characters. Like, I know Craven's a big deal for comic book fans, but for general audiences, they won't know who the fuck he is. And so the idea that you could trot out movies that just focus on characters like that, and they'll be like crazy, like, you know, $1 billion movies or whatever, they're long gone. That's not coming back. And so they don't have enough rights to enough characters to make a success of this little extended universe that they're trying to create here. And Craven is just an example of that. There's no buzz around it. No one's excited to see a Craven the Hunter movie. It just feels like this pointless little endeavor. It's like, yeah, it is like Madam Web, but without the memes to go with it. I think it'll just be a boringly bland movie.